In the top left, in the red, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the reigning world champion, he is Dark.
And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand side, also representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the Protoss player, he is PartinG. Of course, very early here in the EPT season, so we can see the placements and the places of these players. But it is still very early on, and we're going to see those points, of course, massively change over the course of the next year. We have a very long season as well, up until, of course, the next year's Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, which is when we will have, of course, the EPT Championship.
Now, Pig, we're seeing a pretty early drone going across the map here, and I'm like, is this that Bly versus PartinG final that we saw in EPT all those weeks ago? No, that's the world champion, but it looks like a very similar opening here.
Yeah, so this is going to be a 3-hatch before pool, I believe, with a hatch blocking the natural of PartinG. Might cancel it and build an Evo chamber, just wants to disrupt PartinG's build order. At the same time, of course, this serves a double purpose. He's also checked that there's no forge, and that's so important when you're up against PartinG. You need to know if there is a forge or a cybercore, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Dark cancel, check what buildings just got put down, and then respond.
PartinG dropping the first pylon here, making himself a little bit of a new apartment down in Darkville.
Ooh,
with that probe, and he does cancel that hatchery, sees the forge, and now Dark has to respect these pylons.
This is such a nasty cannon spot here, and the spawning pool so late for Dark. It's just gone down, and the cannons are already starting. This is going to be a really hard position, but PartinG actually let every single pylon finish. I guess it's because the forge was so late. He needs another probe. There we go. Okay, it's not too far behind. The second probe does arrive to continue that cannon rush. Cybernetic score is finished. And look at that, getting the Robo down as far back from the high ground so that Ravagers and Spine Crawlers can't focus it down.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's obviously an extremely aggressive build, but it's not in the main of Dark. He has a little bit of room to breathe, but it's going to be all about denying that high ground vision for the Zerg. He comes in with a drone again, which I love here from Dark, which, not only can he have a scout off and see what's happening in the natural of Protoss, but he can also potentially get a hatchery in the main as well, which, once again, to bring up Bly, has been something we've seen as a counterplay.
The Roach Horns just started, Maynard. I think we're going to have Ravagers hitting the field at the same point that there's an Immortal out. This looks really bad for Dark, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about how this is the bedrock of PartinG's style. It's what every Zerg player has to come in with a plan for. We're going to have to see. Dark must have this mapped out, but I'm not quite sure how he's going to defend that. Roach Horn still not finished. The first Immortal starting up a probe here, tracking the drone. PartinG, he has just played so many games with this recently. He's dealt with Zergs who are trying all sorts of ways of counteracting it. And look at that, with the Immortal already halfway done. Shield batteries on the high ground inside your own main base. What do you possibly do against this as Dark?
Oh man, he's trying to DPS down one of these cannons. Looks like he's going to get that one down at the bottom of the ramp, but he lost a little bit there. I mean, obviously the natural going down is a big deal. Dark cannot take any more damage from this, and unfortunately it just doesn't look great at the moment. He's got those roaches, but he wants them to be Ravagers, not just regular roaches. He's trying to push back that Immortal, trying to give himself some room to breathe, but PartinG will not let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, these drones are in range. This Immortal, it can already get so much damage down. Look at that. There's just no fear. There's no Zergling speed. There's no Zerglings. This Immortal can do whatever it wants. A few Roaches and Queen on the backside of the natural are threatening a little. That Prism is about to pop out. The second Immortal being chrono boosted here. And this is just it. Dark has to try to find a way to break through. The Biles landing on the double shield battery. They are in tight formation there and trying to focus down those shield batteries. They're going to need to heal each other. PartinG, he's got to use those heals. And those shield batteries are going to fall. A bit of a mistake. He needed to use those to heal each other.
Getting those shield batteries, you're absolutely right, Pig, is a big deal and a big part of the puzzle for Dark here. He's got those Queens trying to tag that Warp Prism. Great control from both players here to try and keep each side of their units out of harm's way. These Biles actually getting quite a bit from PartinG on this high ground. Feels like he's starting to lose some steam in the main, but he does have two Immortals now.
Yeah, those shield batteries not getting established, and this creep tumor is such a pain. I actually would have loved to see an Observer instead of the second Immortal. This creep is stopping him from building shield batteries easily. He can only really build them on that high ground. That shield battery not even going to be powered right now. These Immortals coming forward, but that Queen taking a lot of damage out onto that Warp Prism. And as the Warp Prism is wounded, it makes it hard for the Immortals to dive as deep as they want to.
Oh, what's so awkward for PartinG here is the Zerg units aren't all just coming out of one angle. Oh, shield battery's been depowered. Unfortunately, the Prism can't be used to power it up, so it is going to go down. He's just not getting any infrastructure up in the main, and the Zerg here is just up to these Immortals, Pig. I like that he grabbed that third Immortal because there are Ravagers coming from both sides. Dark feels like he's starting to get a handle of this.
These 3 Immortals, they've done a lot of damage. They are still looking very good, but with no probe over here, that creep being so annoying, he isn't able to do that endless shield battery healing, which is normally the secret to this flowing out of control. The drones now being pulled off the line. One last desperate pull to try and break this position. PartinG 4 Immortals on the low ground. Now that Robo, I mean, it's going to get depowered in a moment here.
It is depowered. It's gone. It's lost all of its juice. There goes that last pylon, that last bit of static defense. And all PartinG has is his 4 Immortals, a Prism and a Dream. As he doesn't have a whole lot back home. He just started his natural Nexus a few seconds ago.
Just keep the Immortals alive and pull back. I mean, if he gets 2 base up versus 1, if he keeps these Immortals alive, that's great. Ooh, the hot pickups are good, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Oh man, PartinG, you wizard. How did you keep them all alive?
Oh my god, he cast level 3 Immortal Protection right there, and it was good. Nothing Dark can do about that when he controls that good. He's almost picked off 1. PartinG still keeping all the Immortals alive.
Oh my god.
Juggling like a Cirque du Soleil fiend over here. He finally loses 1, and he is going to start losing them eventually. There's only so much space in that Prism. He's going to leave with 2 very damaged Immortals, but he definitely traded as well as he possibly could have there.
For anyone out there who is still doubting PartinG's skill, I mean, just look at that engagement. To have that, I mean, the temerity to go back in as well with 4 red hit point Immortals was just absolutely insane. This man, I mean, he always plays on a razor's edge. He's all about being in his opponent's face and applying pressure, and now he's built a massive advantage for himself in this game. 2 Nexi pumping out probes, going up to 4 gateways, a +1 attack upgrade on the way. I mean, it couldn't be a more perfect setup here for PartinG.
Yeah, he's in a really good spot. His 2 bases are kicking in. The natural Zerg not even up yet, and you never want to be, as a Zerg, on as many bases as your Protoss opponent. You want to be ahead there. So PartinG with a definite advantage in this game, and he's going to start switching gears. We've got +1 on the way, which is going to not only help the Immortals that survive, but also these gateway units, which he's switching into as Warp Gate gets closer and closer to done.
Yeah, these Immortals going to continue to be a nuisance here. Not that many Queens out. Of course, the Prism you can see being very careful, moving to the left-hand side. The Immortals there taking out a drone, a couple of Zerglings. Nice damage.
Ooh, Prism pressed up against the edge of the map, but PartinG, yeah, he's... I don't know why I would ever even, for a split second, doubt his Prism control. We've just been seeing it this game alone. And all these weeks on those online tournaments that PartinG's been getting into the finals and winning.
Stalkers warping in. Just unupgraded Stalkers. +1 on the way. That tells us one thing. PartinG wants to kill his opponent. He wants to knock Dark out of this game. No sentries, no third base, no Twilight Council. These are sure signs of aggression. It's just going to be the best straight-up damage units that he can get. Immortals, a few Stalkers, a couple sentries. He's just going to keep warping it off those gateways and not let Dark get a third base. At the very least, taking out Dark's third, but he's also going to press in and look for the kill as well.
Yeah, these sentries are going to be very annoying. He's got a couple of Ravagers here, which means a couple broken force fields, but there are a handful of force fields available here to PartinG, certainly more than 2. And just having a Roach army against something like this, he doesn't have any Zerglings. Link speed, I think, might have just finished. Up come these Stalkers. Vile zoning back PartinG. He still has that Prism to reinforce as well, right in the face of his opponent. The Ravager Cocoon did not work. Nice force fields from PartinG, getting another Ravager pick off there.
Seeing the Spine Crawler finish, I think it might be time to pull back. Does take down the Spine Crawler very quickly with the focus fire. PartinG coming forward, and these Immortals, they're still dishing out so much damage, but 2 more Spines finishing on the north side. We are seeing those Stalkers come in, more Zealots come in, those cheap units ready to buffer the damage.
These +1 Immortals, though, Pig, they are shredding these Queens and shredding the Spine Crawlers. One of the Immortals goes down, a little bit sloppy on that micro from PartinG, but he feels like he potentially has this here as these Stalkers are doing so much damage here to these Roaches, and these Ravagers getting pushed way back. Another force field from the Protoss. He's out of force fields now. Does he have enough to break Dark's back? It looks a little close here.
It's a lovely hold by Dark, but he's lost workers in the middle of this. He's down to just 26 drones, and it looks like now with the Link speed, if he can catch all these Stalkers, that would be very nice. There's not much of a follow-up just yet for PartinG, trying to micro with that Prism, but these Zerglings, such a nuisance. And there we go, holds on, 6 Stalkers alive, warps in another 4. PartinG wants to maintain position on this map. He knows as long as he's in his opponent's face, Dark is not going to be able to move out and drone that third base. 28 workers. This is just such a desperate situation for the Zerg. I don't even think there's a lair here. It's just Ravagers and Zerglings.
Stalker's going down the right-hand side, just trying to do some damage to this hatchery. In a dream scenario, pick it off as well. Dark moving to intercept here, but with a pretty small army, that's too many Stalkers. The Lings need to come here and assist.
Yeah, looks like some of those Stalkers are a little exposed, but as the Zealots warp in, Zealots are the counter to the Zerglings, and a quick dodge on the Prism doesn't let itself get biled down.
This Prism's been the MVP for PartinG this game, that's for damn sure. This third hatchery still under threat. It's only got a quarter of its life, less than that now. It's going to go down if he touches on it one more time here with his units.
Oh, Bile zone out the Stalkers. The Zealots do get a little bit separated there. A few of them do get picked off, but more warping in. And the Prism going to pull back the Stalkers and the Zealots, knowing they don't need to take the engagement here. And once again, PartinG, he's just set up 38 probes, 2 bases.
And he's
got
taking
a Robo, a Twilight, an armor upgrade. Yeah, PartinG is just in control of this game.
He's absolutely big. It starts to get better and better for him as time goes forward. Dark's just never had breathing room to recover. He's been playing catch-up here. I like the Lings. Speedling's absolutely fantastic against a big ball of Stalkers, but they aren't drones, they aren't hatcheries, but they need to be here or he's dead. It's such an awkward situation for the Zerg, and PartinG's made just brought him down to this mud wrestle.
And this is exactly where PartinG likes to fight, where he can dictate the pace, can be the one in your face the whole time, and not give you a room to jump up. Anytime where you're both microing back and forth, where PartinG's picking the engagements, choosing where and when to fight, that's his happy place. He absolutely loves it. And he knows that the Zerg just can't get out of control. I think it's these longer games where the Zerg's giving a bit more breathing room. That's where we see PartinG struggle. But this sort of game, especially off that early advantage, it's quite straightforward for PartinG to just move this advantage forward step by step. And
I love the Dark Shrine here that Mapu's showing to us. Not only do you have the Cloak Boys out, which if you don't have detection, you can just die, but even if you do, Archons are a fantastic addition to PartinG's armies. It really, you know, when you're on lair tech, you got Road Ravager Ling, it is so hard to actually deal with even 3 or 4 or even just 2 Archons with all these Stalkers and Zealots around them.
Yeah, Force Field's a big threat there. Those 2 Zealots coming back into the main base, forcing the workers back. The Ravagers and Lings coming forward desperately. PartinG says, are you sure, mate? Are you sure you can take this fight?
You want this battle? No worries, I'll give you this battle. And I think Dark might have bitten off more than he could chew, but what else has he got going for him? PartinG's gonna take gate number 1. GG.